Welcome to this PasswordWrench tutorial. There is a nice feature on our website available to anyone requiring a strong password to log in to PasswordWrench. This tutorial will explain what the password assistant is and why it's an important feature to use. Before we dive in, here are some scenarios that could be used to make sure your PasswordWrench password is very strong. You could use a strong password that you can remember. The problem with that is, what is the point of using a password manager if you do that? And when you need to replace it, it gets harder and harder to come up with a new, equally strong one that you can remember. For example, how would you remember this password? You could use one of your password cards for your PasswordWrench password. There is only one issue with that, and it's when you've misplaced or lost your password card and you're stranded. You won't be able to log in without going through the full reset. The password assistant resolves both of these issues. While it's not required to use the assistant, it creates an additional layer of security. On the login screen, you can log in normally as you would on any website by entering your username and password. Since PasswordWrench is the site where you manage all of your passwords, it's important to keep that password very secure, long and complex. The password assistant is located beside the password box, recognizably named Assistant. Click on the assistant and let's begin. After launching the password assistant, you will see a dialog box asking you to enter a card name. This is actually like a unique code. Any password you can remember easily, like your phone number, your favorite color, or your first pet's name. You will always enter the same value each time, and it's important to use something you can and will remember. In this tutorial, I'm going to enter PW. Then click the Next button. You've now generated a password card that will always be identical whenever you use that same code. Now, on your password card, you can click on some rows or columns, or use the eraser to erase some of the selected characters. We'll touch more on that in a minute. Let's click on column A, and then click on the row 16. You can see that with 2 clicks, I am generating a very strong random password of 32 characters. Now all I have to do is click on the button Use this password, and that password will be used for your PasswordWrench login password. Note that you must set your login password to that though, if you want to use the password assistant. We'll show you how to do that next. Let's go to the password reset page. From my logged in dashboard, I can find the password reset from the left menu under Settings, and then Security and Login. As you can see, there is a password assistant beside each password box, ready to be used if needed. This is what you'll use to set your new password if you want to use the password assistant feature. Here I'm going to change my password to a new password using the password assistant. Then, the next time I log in, I only have to remember my password assistant code, in this case PW, and recreate my login password. Here, I chose A16 because it was the seat number of my first and only front row seat to a concert I loved. You could choose row 9, your favorite number, or column D, as in for World's Best Dad, or make a shape of any kind. The possibilities are endless. Just make sure it's something you can always remember without any ambiguity. Now my password is reset, and I no longer need my password card to log in. Now it's even easier to log in while still being secure. I just go to the login page, enter in my username, then click the password assistant. I type in my reminder, then recreate my super complex password using my one and only first row concert seat, and click on Use this password to log in. A couple of last items to share with you. Some tips and tricks to amp the security level up to 11. To avoid prying eyes, especially in a public setting, be sure to turn the highlight feature to off when creating your password. This way, no one looking at your screen can see what you're doing. On the bottom of the assistant window, the password is hidden by default. You can view it by clicking on the View eye to the left of the password. But again, it's best not to do this in a public space. For more tips and tricks and best practices, be sure to check out our other how-to videos.